When you wake up in the morning, what's the first thing you think about? Do you feel rushed to start your day? Or do you feel a sense of control over how it unfolds? The truth is, how you begin your day has a huge impact on how the rest of it will go. What if I told you that you have the power to win the day before it even begins? Imagine starting each day with a clear purpose, a sense of control, and a plan that sets you up for success right from the moment you open your eyes. You don't need to wait for things to go right or for the stars to align. You don't need to hope that the day will go your way. You have the ability to decide how your day will unfold before you even get out of bed. The key lies in how you approach the morning and what you do the moment you wake up. It's not about luck or circumstances. It's about the choices you make. In the next few minutes, I'll show you how to take full control of your mornings and set yourself up for a day of success. By making a few intentional changes to how you start your day, you can set yourself on the path to achieving your goals, staying focused, and being productive. If you're tired of feeling like the day controls you instead of the other way around, stay with me. What you're about to learn can transform how you approach your day, your goals, and your life. So let's dive in and explore how you can win the day before it even starts. Number 1, decide your day before it begins. Win the day before it starts. That's the secret. That's the key. Because here's the truth. If you wake up every morning without a plan, without direction, without clarity, you've already lost half the battle before the day even begins. And let me tell you, winners don't operate that way. Successful people don't roll out of bed and just hope for the best. No, they decide. They take control. They make sure that before the sun even rises, their day is already won. Most people let life happen to them. They wake up, check their phones, scroll through messages, maybe glance at the news, and before they know it, an hour is gone. Their mind is cluttered, and they've already lost momentum. They're reacting, not leading. They're following, not creating. And they wonder why they never seem to have enough time, why they always feel like they're behind, why they can't seem to break out of the same routine that keeps them stuck in the same place. But here's what the successful do differently. They don't wait for the morning to figure things out. They decide their day before it even begins. This isn't just about productivity. It's about control. It's about discipline. It's about making sure that when your feet hit the floor in the morning, you already know what needs to be done. There's no wasted time, no confusion, no hesitation. You move with purpose because you already planned the steps you need to take. And when you do this, something powerful happens. You eliminate uncertainty. You eliminate procrastination. You eliminate the chaos that so many people experience because they're trying to figure things out as they go. The most successful people in the world don't rely on motivation to get things done. They rely on preparation. They don't wake up hoping they'll feel productive. They make sure they have a plan in place the night before, so when they wake up they don't have to think. They just execute. And that's what separates the winners from everyone else. That's what gives them an edge. Because while everyone else is wasting the first few hours of their day figuring things out, they're already ahead. Now let me ask you something. How many times have you gone to bed with no real plan for the next day? How many times have you woken up and thought, what should I do first? Or where should I start? That moment right there, where you're trying to decide what to do, that's where time is lost. That's where momentum is lost. That's where hesitation creeps in. And if you start your day in hesitation, you'll carry that same energy into everything else you do. But what if instead, before you went to bed, you took a few minutes to write down exactly what needed to get done? What if instead of waking up with uncertainty, you woke up with a mission? What if instead of leaving your day to chance, you took full control of it? Imagine how much more focused you'd be. Imagine how much more confident you'd feel. Imagine how much more you'd accomplish. That's the power of deciding your day before it begins. I know some people might be thinking, Jim, I don't have time to plan my day. I have too much going on. I'm too busy. But let me tell you something. The busier you are, the more important this is. The more responsibilities you have, the more you need structure. Because if you don't take control of your time, everything else will. The world will steal your focus. Distractions will pull you in every direction. And by the time you finally sit down to do what matters, the day will already be slipping away. The best way to avoid this, make the decision early. Before you go to sleep, write down the 3 most important things you need to accomplish the next day, not 10 things. Not a long, overwhelming list that makes you feel like you'll never get everything done. Just three. The three things that will actually move your life forward. The things that will make the biggest impact. Because the truth is, most people are busy being busy. They check things off a list, but at the end of the day, they don't feel like they actually made progress. But when you focus on the three most important things, you wake up knowing exactly what you need to do. And that kind of clarity is powerful. That kind of clarity gives you an advantage. And listen, this isn't just about work. It's about your life. It's about your mindset. If you want to be more disciplined, decide the night before. If you want to be healthier, decide the night before. If you want to grow, to improve, to get better, don't wait until the morning to figure it out. Make the decision in advance. Because when you wake up with direction, you don't give yourself a chance to talk yourself out of it. You don't give excuses a chance to creep in. You just get up and go. That's the real secret. It's not about waking up earlier. It's not about drinking the perfect cup of coffee or having the most optimized morning routine. It's about preparation. It's about knowing what needs to be done before the day even starts. Because when you do that, you don't waste time. You don't waste energy. You start strong, and you carry that momentum through the rest of the day. So here's the challenge. Tonight, before you go to bed, take 5 minutes, just 5. Write down 3 things that you need to accomplish tomorrow. 3 things that if you complete them, will make the day a success. And then when you wake up, follow through. No overthinking, no second guessing, no hesitation, just action. Because when you win the morning, you win the day. And when you win the day, you win at life. The decision is yours. Will you wake up and hope for a good day? Or will you decide right now that tomorrow is already won? Number 2, wake up with a mission, not just a routine. That's the difference between people who achieve extraordinary things and those who just go through the motions. Too many people wake up every morning without a real purpose, without a sense of urgency, without that inner fire pushing them forward. They wake up because they have to, not because they want to. They drag themselves out of bed, do the same things they did yesterday, and wonder why their life isn't changing. But the truth is, if you wake up without a mission, you've already lost the day before it even begins. Think about this for a second. The most successful people in the world don't wake up just to get through the day. They wake up with a clear vision of what they need to accomplish. They don't hit snooze, roll out of bed reluctantly, and check their phone mindlessly. No, they start the day with energy, with focus, with a purpose that drives them forward. And that's what separates them from everyone else. It's not luck. It's not talent. It's mindset. It's the decision to wake up every morning knowing exactly what needs to be done. Now let me ask you, when was the last time you woke up feeling truly excited about the day ahead? When was the last time you jumped out of bed with enthusiasm, ready to attack the day with everything you've got? If you can't remember, it's because you don't have a strong enough reason driving you. And without a reason, without a mission, it's easy to fall into the trap of living the same day over and over again. That's why so many people feel stuck. It's not because they don't have potential. It's not because they aren't capable. It's because they aren't waking up with a real purpose. If you want to change your life, start by changing the way you wake up. Because the first moments of your day set the tone for everything that follows. If you wake up sluggish, unmotivated, and aimless, the rest of your day will reflect that. But if you wake up with a mission, if you wake up knowing exactly why you're getting up, what you need to do, and who you need to become, then suddenly your entire day shifts, your energy shifts, your focus sharpens. And that's when real progress begins. This is not about having a perfect morning routine. Too many people get caught up in the details. Should I wake up at 5 a.m.? Should I meditate? Should I take a cold shower? Listen, none of that matters if you don't have a mission. You can wake up at 4 a.m., drink the healthiest green smoothie in the world, and take an ice bath. But if you don't know why you're doing it, you'll still feel lost. It's not about the routine. It's about the purpose behind it. The people who succeed at the highest levels wake up with a reason. They don't wake up just because their alarm tells them to. They wake up because they're chasing something bigger than themselves. They wake up because they have goals to reach, dreams to build, and work to do. They wake up because they refuse to waste another second living a life that's anything less than what they're capable of. And here's the thing, your mission doesn't have to be some grand world-changing goal. It just has to be something that gets you moving. Maybe your mission is to finally get in shape. Maybe it's to build a business. Maybe it's to become more disciplined, to learn a new skill, to become a better version of yourself every single day. Whatever it is, make it clear. Write it down. Say it out loud. Let it be the first thing you think about when you open your eyes. Because when you wake up with a mission, you don't waste time. You don't sit around wondering what to do. You don't let distractions pull you in 100 different directions. You get up and you get to work. Most people never take the time to define their mission. They wake up and immediately start reacting to notifications, to emails, to whatever demands the world throws at them. And that's why they never feel in control. That's why they always feel like they're running on autopilot, just trying to survive the day. But you are not here to just survive. You are here to build, to grow, to push yourself beyond what you thought was possible. And that starts the moment you wake up. So tonight, before you go to bed, take a moment and ask yourself, what is my mission for tomorrow? Not just what you need to do, but why you need to do it. Because when your why is strong enough, the how takes care of itself. And when you wake up with that mission burning inside you, nothing can stop you. You'll move differently. You'll think differently. You'll act with intention, with discipline, with drive. And that's what it takes to win. Not just the day, but your entire life. No more waking up just to go through the motions. No more dragging yourself out of bed with no direction. Wake up with purpose. Wake up with fire. Wake up with a mission so strong that you can't wait to get started. Because that's how you take control of your life. That's how you win before the day even begins. And when you do that every single day, success isn't a matter of if, it's only a matter of when. Number 3, the first 10 minutes set the tone. Most people don't even realize it. But those first few moments after you wake up are the most important. They set the tone for the rest of your day. They determine whether you move with purpose or get lost in distractions. They decide if you'll be productive or just drift through the day like most people do. And here's the truth. If you don't take control of those first 10 minutes, the world will take control of them for you. Think about it. The way you start your morning influences your mood, your focus, your energy, and even your confidence. If the first thing you do is check your phone, scroll through social media, or read bad news, you've already lost. You've already allowed outside influences to dictate your mindset. You've already put yourself in a reactive state, where instead of focusing on what matters, you're letting distractions decide where your attention goes. And once that pattern starts, it's hard to break. The rest of your day follows that same scattered, unfocused energy. But successful people, they don't let that happen. They don't leave their mornings to chance. They don't start the day mindlessly. They make sure that those first 10 minutes are intentional, powerful, and productive. They know that if they can win those first few moments, they can win the entire day. Most people underestimate the power of momentum. They think that a bad morning can somehow turn into a great day, but it rarely happens that way. If you start your day feeling rushed, distracted, or overwhelmed, that feeling lingers. It follows you into your work, into your conversations, into your decisions. And before you know it, the entire day feels like an uphill battle. But if you take control from the very start, if you decide that your first 10 minutes will be strong, focused, and disciplined, you set yourself up for success. You create momentum in the right direction. And that momentum carries you through everything else you do. It's not about doing something complicated. It's not about having some perfect morning routine that takes hours. It's about simple, intentional actions that put you in the right state of mind. Maybe it's sitting in silence for a moment before you jump into the day. Maybe it's reminding yourself of your goals, your mission, your purpose. Maybe it's taking a deep breath and deciding that today is going to be productive, no matter what. The key is to do something that puts you in control, not something that makes you feel scattered. One of the worst things you can do in those first 10 minutes is give your attention away to things that don't serve you. Checking notifications, scrolling through other people's lives, reading emails. These things don't help you. They put you in a reactive state before you've even had a chance to focus on yourself. And when you start your day in reaction mode, it's hard to shift out of it. You spend the whole day feeling like you're catching up instead of leading. But when you take charge of those first 10 minutes everything changes. You move with purpose. You start the day on offense, not defense. You train your mind to focus on what matters, instead of being distracted by things that don't. And that discipline carries over into the rest of your day. Imagine waking up, and instead of reaching for your phone, you take a moment to set your intentions for the day. Imagine starting your morning by reminding yourself of the goals you're working toward, instead of scrolling through negativity or distraction. Imagine using those first 10 minutes to focus your mind, to get clear, to remind yourself why you're doing what you're doing. How much more powerful would your days be? How much more energy would you have? How much more in control would you feel? Most people don't realize how much time they waste in the morning. They think it doesn't matter. They think a few minutes of scrolling, a few minutes of distraction won't make a difference. But it does. It makes all the difference. Because the way you start is the way you continue. If you start the day focused, you'll stay focused. If you start the day disciplined, you'll stay disciplined. If you start the day with energy and purpose, you'll carry that energy with you. And listen, it's not about being perfect. There will be days when you don't feel like it. There will be days when you wake up tired, when distractions pull at you, when it's easier to fall back into old habits. But the key is to make this a standard, to make it something you do no matter what. Because once you do, it becomes automatic. It becomes second nature. You won't have to force yourself to take control of those first 10 minutes. It'll just be how you operate. This is what separates people who achieve great things from those who don't. It's not about intelligence. It's not about talent. It's about discipline. It's about deciding that you won't let distractions, excuses, or bad habits control your life. It's about making a simple choice every morning to take charge of your day before anything else has a chance to take charge of you. If you're serious about success, if you're serious about making real progress, don't overlook this. Don't dismiss it as something small. Because the truth is, the small things are what matter most. The way you start your day determines the way you live your life. And if you master this, if you make it a habit to win those first 10 minutes, everything else will start to fall into place. So tomorrow morning, before you reach for your phone, before you get lost in distractions, before you let the world decide your mindset, stop, take a breath, focus, set your intentions, start strong. Because when you do, you won't just have a good morning, you'll have a powerful, productive, successful day. And when you do that every single day, your life will never be the same. Number 4, start with silence, not chaos. Most people wake up and jump straight into chaos. Their alarm goes off. They grab their phone, and before they even take a breath, they're hit with notifications, emails, and messages, pulling them in every direction. Their mind isn't even fully awake, but it's already racing. Stress kicks in. Distractions take over. And just like that, they've lost control of the day before it's even begun. But the most successful people, they don't start their mornings with noise. They don't wake up and immediately dive into the whirlwind of demands and distractions. No, they start with silence. They take a moment before anything else to center themselves, to get clear, to be in control of their own mind before the world tries to take that control away. And that makes all the difference. The way you start your morning determines the way you experience the rest of the day. If you wake up and instantly allow outside influences to dictate your thoughts, you're setting yourself up for stress, for overwhelm, for a lack of focus. But if you take a moment for yourself, before checking messages, before turning on the TV, before scrolling through social media, you create space for clarity, for calm, for focus. And that space is what allows you to move through the day with purpose instead of just reacting to everything around you. Silence is powerful. It's in those quiet moments that you can actually hear yourself think. It's where you can reconnect with your goals, your vision, your purpose. It's where you can remind yourself why you're doing what you're doing. And if you don't take that time, if you don't create that space, you'll find yourself constantly caught up in distractions, constantly feeling like you're playing catch up, constantly wondering why you don't feel in control of your own life. Most people never even realize how much noise is controlling them. They wake up, they immediately start consuming information, and before they know it, they've spent the first hour of their day reacting instead of creating. And that becomes their default state, always reacting, always responding, never truly leading their own life. But it doesn't have to be that way. You can take back control. You can decide that the first moments of your day belong to you, not to your phone, not to emails, not to the demands of other people. Imagine waking up and instead of reaching for your phone, you take a few deep breaths. You sit in silence for a moment and let your mind wake up naturally. You think about what you want to accomplish today, not what other people want from you, but what matters to you. Imagine starting your day with that kind of clarity instead of stress. How much more focused would you be? How much more in control would you feel? How much more energy would you have throughout the day? The reason so many people feel exhausted before the day even really starts is because they've given away all their mental energy the moment they wake up. They've allowed themselves to be pulled in a dozen different directions before they've even had a chance to think. But when you start with silence, when you take that moment to ground yourself before the world tries to shake you, you protect your energy. You set the tone for the entire day. And this isn't about sitting in meditation for an hour. This isn't about adding another complicated step to your morning routine. It's about something simple but powerful, giving yourself just a few minutes of space before the chaos begins. Maybe that means sitting quietly with your coffee instead of scrolling through your phone. Maybe that means stepping outside for a moment and taking in the morning air. Maybe it means just sitting in bed for an extra minute, breathing, thinking, and getting clear on what you need to do today. The point is to create intentional space, to decide that you won't let the noise of the world invade your mind before you've had a chance to focus on what really matters. Because when you start with silence, you start with power, you start with control, and that control carries through everything else you do. Most people don't think about this. They assume that mornings are supposed to be rushed, that stress is just a part of waking up. But that's a choice. It's a habit. And like any habit, it can be changed. If you want to win the day before it starts, start by winning the first few minutes. Start by taking back control of your own mind. Start by refusing to let distractions, notifications, and the demands of the world dictate how you feel the moment you open your eyes. It's a small shift, but it makes a massive difference. Because when you begin your day with clarity instead of chaos, you move through the rest of your day with confidence instead of doubt. You make decisions more clearly. You focus more easily. You handle challenges with more resilience. And you stop feeling like life is just happening to you. You start leading it, shaping it, making it what you want it to be. So tomorrow morning, before you reach for your phone, before you dive into emails, before you let the outside world into your mind, stop, take a breath. Let yourself wake up without distractions. Give yourself those first few minutes of peace and watch how everything in your life starts to change. Because when you start with silence, you start with strength. And that strength will carry you through every challenge, every goal, and every success that lies ahead. Number 5, feed your mind, not just your body. Your mind is the most powerful tool you have, but most people never take control of it. They wake up every morning and start feeding their body breakfast, coffee, maybe a quick snack, but they completely ignore their mind. They don't fuel it with the right thoughts, the right information, or the right focus. And then they wonder why they feel unmotivated, distracted, or stuck in the same patterns day after day. If you want to win the day before it even begins, you have to take charge of what you feed your mind. Because just like your body, your mind will either be strong and sharp or sluggish and weak, depending on what you put into it. The first thing you allow into your mind in the morning determines the quality of your entire day. If the first thing you do is check your phone and fill your head with negative news, random social media posts, and endless notifications, you're starting your day with mental junk food. You're putting yourself in a reactive state before you even take your first step out of bed. And when your mind starts in reaction mode, it's incredibly difficult to shift back into focus, discipline, and clarity. You spend the rest of the day responding to everything instead of leading your own life. Successful people don't allow that to happen. They don't wake up and immediately let the outside world dictate their mindset. They don't feed their mind with distractions, complaints, or negativity. Instead, they make a conscious decision to fill their mind with the kind of information that builds them up, sharpens their thinking, and prepares them to perform at their highest level. They know that if they start the day with the right input, their output will be stronger, more focused, and more effective. What are you feeding your mind every morning? Are you filling it with inspiration, knowledge, and clear purpose? Or are you letting it be consumed by meaningless noise? This is a decision you have to make. And if you don't make it intentionally, the world will make it for you. And trust me, the world is not designed to make you stronger, wiser, or more successful. It's designed to distract you, to keep you busy but not productive, to keep you consuming but not creating. That's why you have to take back control. Imagine waking up and instead of reaching for your phone, you start your day with something that fuels your mind in the right way. Maybe it's reading a few pages of a powerful book. Maybe it's listening to an inspiring speech or an audiobook that teaches you something valuable. Maybe it's reviewing your goals, reminding yourself of your mission, and reinforcing the mindset you need to succeed. Whatever it is, it should be something that strengthens your thinking, sharpens your focus, and puts you in control of your emotions. Because the way you think in the morning determines how you act throughout the day. Most people don't realize how much their daily habits shape their entire life. They assume that a few minutes here or there don't matter, that checking social media or skimming the news first thing in the morning is just a harmless habit. But it's not harmless. It's setting the foundation for your mental state. It's training your brain to focus on distractions instead of priorities. It's making you reactive instead of proactive. And over time, those small habits create massive results, either positive or negative, depending on what you choose. The people who achieve the highest levels of success don't have more hours in the day than you. They don't have some secret advantage that you don't have access to. The only difference is how they use their time and what they allow into their mind. They know that every single morning is a chance to build themselves up or break themselves down. They know that what they consume mentally is just as important as what they consume physically. And because of that, they don't waste their mornings on things that don't serve them. If you start your day feeding your mind with negativity, distractions, and randomness, your mind will stay in that state. But if you start your day feeding your mind with strength, wisdom, and purpose, you'll carry that into everything you do. The choice is yours. And if you want to create real lasting change in your life, start by making this one simple shift. Don't just wake up and let the world decide how you feel. Don't let random distractions be the first thing that enters your mind. Take control. Be intentional. Feed your mind with something that makes you better, that makes you stronger, that reminds you of who you're becoming. Because if you do that every single morning, your life will start to transform in ways you never imagined. And the best part, it all starts with one decision: what you choose to put into your mind the moment you wake up. Number 6, clarity beats busyness. Define your wins for the day. When you wake up in the morning, how do you approach your day? Do you immediately feel the weight of everything you have to do? Or do you take a moment to think about what truly matters for you to accomplish? Most people wake up, grab their phone, check their emails, and get straight into their to-do list without even thinking about what's most important. They rush from one task to another, ticking things off without much thought to what will actually move them forward. But here's the truth. Clarity beats busyness. And understanding what you're working toward each day will help you focus on what really counts. It's easy to get lost in the hustle and bustle of life, thinking that if you're busy, you're being productive. But being busy doesn't always mean you're making meaningful progress. You can fill your day with 100 tasks and still end up feeling drained, unfulfilled, and stuck. That's because without clarity, your efforts aren't being channeled toward what actually matters. You might be crossing things off your to-do list, but you're not necessarily moving closer to your goals. That's the trap many people fall into. They get caught in the whirlwind of constant activity without taking the time to step back and evaluate what really deserves their attention. When you decide what's most important for you to achieve, you're choosing to focus on the things that will make the biggest impact in your life. This doesn't mean you ignore the smaller tasks that need to be done, but it means that you prioritize the actions that are going to take you closer to your bigger vision. For example, instead of spending all day answering emails or checking off small, unimportant tasks, you focus on the things that will truly move the needle forward for you, whether that's working on your personal growth, focusing on a major project, or putting time into the relationships that matter most. To do this, you have to be intentional with your time. It starts with taking a moment in the morning to get clear about what you need to accomplish and why it matters. You don't need a long, complicated plan, but you do need clarity. Ask yourself, what are the 1 or 2 things that, if I accomplish them today, will make the biggest difference in my life? What goals do I need to move forward today, no matter how small the step? When you gain that clarity, your day becomes much more focused. You don't waste time on the things that don't matter, and you can approach your to-do list with a sense of purpose. Here's the thing. Not everything that comes across your plate is going to be important. Not every task or email or phone call is going to help you reach your ultimate goals. But it's easy to get caught up in the idea that everything is urgent. The reality is that when you're not clear on what matters most to you, everything feels important and everything demands your attention. But you can't give your energy to everything. You have to choose. And when you get clear about your wins for the day, it's easier to say no to the distractions that don't move you forward. Clarity is the difference between being busy and being productive. It's the difference between feeling overwhelmed and feeling in control. When you know exactly what you're working toward, you can stay focused, even when distractions are pulling at you from every angle. You can say no to the things that aren't serving your goals, and you can prioritize the actions that will get you closer to where you want to be. In your morning routine, take the time to reflect on what really matters. Get crystal clear on the most important tasks and goals for the day. Write them down if it helps, but don't just write down everything you think you need to do. Focus on the most important items, the ones that align with your long-term vision. And as you go through your day, remember that clarity doesn't just come from being told what to do. It comes from taking the time to figure it out for yourself, from stepping back and looking at your life from a higher perspective, and asking yourself, what will truly move me forward today? When you operate from a place of clarity, your entire day shifts. You won't feel like you're spinning your wheels or getting lost in trivial tasks. Instead, you'll feel a sense of focus and purpose that propels you through the day with confidence. And by the end of the day, you'll look back and feel a sense of accomplishment, because you know that you've invested your time and energy into the things that matter most. So make it a practice to define your wins for the day before you start the grind. Take a few moments each morning to set your intentions, and don't let the chaos of the world steer you off course. Clarity beats busyness every time. And when you focus on what truly matters, that's when the magic happens. That's when you start making real progress. And that's when you can look at your life and say, I'm moving forward and I'm in control. Number 7, master your priorities, not just your to-do list. Every successful person you know doesn't just go through their day reacting to what comes their way. They know exactly what they need to focus on, and they take control of their time. But here's the thing. Your to-do list is never going to be short. It's never going to be free from tasks that need to get done. The key to winning your day every day is not about adding more to your to-do list, but about mastering your priorities. The truth is, you don't need to do everything. You just need to do the right things. And that's where most people get it wrong. Think about it for a second. We all have a never-ending list of tasks, work tasks, personal tasks, household tasks, everything. It's easy to get caught up in this cycle of ticking off everything you've written down just to feel like you've accomplished something. But the reality is, a lot of the things on your list aren't pushing you closer to your goals. They might be necessary, but they aren't truly moving the needle in your life. The true measure of your success isn't how much you get done. It's how much you get done that actually matters. This is where mastering your priorities comes into play. Instead of focusing on every single thing that needs to be done, you need to identify what's truly important. What are the things that, if you focus on them today, will move you forward in the long run? What's the one thing that will make the biggest difference in your life if you tackle it today? These are your priorities, and when you learn to master them, you're setting yourself up for success, not just today, but in the long run. You see, a lot of people fall into the trap of being busy, not productive. They spend hours moving from task to task, crossing things off their list, but none of it really gets them closer to their bigger goals. They might be working hard, but they're not working smart. And it's easy to fall into this trap, especially when you're faced with a never-ending list of things to do. But if you want to make real progress in your life, you need to be strategic about where you put your energy. Mastering your priorities doesn't mean ignoring the smaller tasks. It just means putting them in their place. It means recognizing that while the smaller tasks are necessary, they aren't the things that are going to get you where you want to be. So instead of spending all your energy on those, you put your focus on the tasks that align with your bigger goals and long-term vision. And when you do that, you start to see results. It's about taking control of your time. And when you focus on what truly matters, It doesn't feel like you're doing a million things at once. You start moving through your day with intention. You prioritize the big things, and the little things either get done in the time that's left, or in some cases they don't matter as much as you thought they did. That's the power of mastering your priorities. The people who achieve success aren't necessarily the busiest people. They're the ones who have learned to prioritize what matters most. They're the ones who wake up in the morning and know exactly what they need to do, not because they have a packed schedule, but because they've identified their top priorities. They know what's going to bring them closer to their goals, and they don't get distracted by the rest. So how do you master your priorities? It starts by taking a step back and evaluating what's truly important. What are the things that are going to push you forward in your personal life, your professional life, and your health? What are the things that will help you get to where you want to be in 5 years? Once you've identified those priorities, put them front and center. They should be the first thing on your mind every morning, and they should guide how you spend your time throughout the day. It's about saying no to the things that don't move you forward. It's about recognizing that not every task on your list deserves your attention. The ability to say no is one of the most powerful skills you can develop. When you say no to the things that don't matter, you free up space and energy to focus on the things that do. And when you're able to do this consistently, you'll find that your to-do list doesn't feel so overwhelming. You'll realize that you don't have to do everything. You just need to focus on the things that truly matter. Mastering your priorities is the key to mastering your day. It's not about checking off as many tasks as possible. It's about making sure the tasks you're doing are the ones that will lead to real progress. When you prioritize your time and your energy, you start to see real results. You start to build momentum. And before long, you're making progress toward your goals every single day. And that's what success is all about. Consistently working on the things that matter, day in and day out. So stop letting your to-do list control you. Start mastering your priorities and watch as your days and your life start to transform. Number 8, own your mornings, own your life. When you own your mornings, you own your life. It's that simple. The way you start your day determines the direction you take for the next several hours. If you wake up feeling rushed, disorganized, or already behind, you're setting yourself up for a day filled with stress, confusion, and a lack of control. But when you take charge of your mornings, when you set the tone right from the beginning, everything else falls into place. You become the master of your own destiny rather than just reacting to whatever comes your way. The truth is, the most successful people in the world have one thing in common. They own their mornings. They don't let the chaos of the world dictate how they start their day. Instead, they decide how their day will unfold by creating a morning routine that aligns with their goals, their values, and their vision for the future. And this isn't some magical formula that's only available to a select few. This is something anyone can do. You have the power to take control of your mornings, and by extension, your entire life. But how do you own your mornings? It starts by making intentional choices as soon as you wake up. The first few moments of your day set the stage for everything that comes next. If you grab your phone first thing and dive into emails, texts, or social media, you're immediately letting other people's priorities take precedence over your own. You're setting yourself up to be reactive, not proactive. Instead, start your day with purpose, whether it's through meditation, journaling, or simply taking a few moments to be grateful. You have the power to take control of your thoughts and emotions right from the start. By starting your day with intention, you're telling yourself that you are in charge. You're choosing to focus on what matters most, rather than allowing distractions and external pressures to dictate your mood or energy. When you begin your morning with a calm, clear mind, you set yourself up for a more productive, focused day. You're not scattered or overwhelmed. You're centered, clear, and ready to take on whatever comes your way. Another key to owning your mornings is creating a routine that supports your goals. This isn't about creating a rigid schedule that leaves no room for flexibility. It's about establishing habits that fuel your success. Whether it's exercising, reading, or planning your day, make sure that the activities you engage in first thing are aligned with your long-term vision. When you do this, you're reinforcing the mindset that your success is not a matter of chance. It's a result of the consistent, intentional actions you take every day. It's easy to let your mornings slip away in a blur of chaos, but the truth is, those first few hours set the foundation for everything else in your day. If you wake up late, rush through your morning, and jump into your to-do list without any thought or direction, you're already starting the day behind the 8 ball. But when you take control of your mornings, you give yourself a head start. You're already in the driver's seat, and you're setting the pace for the rest of the day. One of the most powerful things you can do to own your mornings is to make sure you're waking up early. This isn't about forcing yourself to get up at 4 a.m. just because someone else says it's the best time to be productive. It's about finding a time that works for you and committing to it. Waking up early gives you the space and time to do the things that set the tone for your day. You have time to plan, to think, and to set yourself up for success, rather than rushing through everything just to catch up. But owning your mornings isn't just about getting up early or following a specific routine. It's about shifting your mindset. It's about deciding that your mornings are non-negotiable. It's about understanding that what you do in the first few hours of your day shapes everything that happens after. The energy you bring to your morning spills over into the rest of your day, influencing your thoughts, actions, and interactions. When you start your day with confidence and purpose, you'll carry that energy with you, and it will reflect in everything you do. Think about the power you have when you take charge of your mornings. When you own your mornings, you set the tone for your life. You decide how your day will unfold. You prioritize your goals, focus on what matters most, and eliminate the distractions that hold you back. The more you practice this, the more natural it becomes. And soon it's not just your mornings that are transformed, it's your entire life. So make a commitment to yourself today. Decide to own your mornings. Start small if you have to, but start. Take control of those first few hours and watch as the rest of your day and your life fall into place. When you own your mornings, you own your life, and nothing can stop you from achieving your desired success. Number 9. Don't just start. Start strong. How you begin something sets the tone for everything that follows. If you start with doubt, hesitation, or a lack of focus, it's almost impossible to build momentum. But when you commit to starting strong, you're giving yourself the best chance to succeed. That's what separates the achievers from the dreamers. The decision to start with everything you've got, not just a half-hearted attempt. It's so easy to talk yourself out of things before you even begin. We've all been there, thinking about the challenges ahead and wondering if we're even capable of handling them. Maybe you wake up with a sense of overwhelm because of everything you need to do. You let yourself feel anxious or uncertain, and then you procrastinate. You tell yourself you'll start later or that you're not ready yet. The problem with this mindset is that you're already giving yourself permission to fail. You're letting your fears, doubts, and insecurities take over, and you're setting yourself up for a day of disappointment and frustration. But what if you flipped that script? What if you decided right now that you were going to start strong, no matter what? What if you chose to show up fully and give your best effort, even if you didn't feel 100% ready? The truth is, no one is ever truly ready for everything they face. Success doesn't come from waiting for the perfect moment or having everything figured out. It comes from taking action, from showing up with confidence and energy, even when the path ahead is uncertain. When you start strong, you're telling yourself that you have what it takes. You're not letting fear or doubt dictate your actions. You're committing to moving forward with purpose, even when the challenges seem big. You're setting yourself up for success by refusing to allow your doubts to keep you stuck. The moment you decide to take that first step with determination, you've already won. The momentum you build in those first few moments will carry you through the rest of the day. The key to starting strong is all about your mindset. It's about waking up with a sense of confidence, energy, and drive. The most successful people don't wait for motivation to come to them. They generate it. They decide, today, I'm going to crush it. They don't give themselves the option of hesitation. They push past any resistance and step into the day with everything they've got. And here's the best part. The more you practice starting strong, the easier it becomes. It becomes a habit, a part of who you are. You don't think about whether or not you can do it. You just do it. If you want to start strong, you've got to make the decision to be relentless. You have to commit to showing up, no matter what. Whether you're facing challenges, setbacks, or a heavy workload, you decide that nothing is going to stop you. You refuse to let excuses, distractions, or negativity stand in your way. Every task, no matter how big or small, deserves your full attention and effort. When you start strong, you're setting yourself up to tackle even the toughest challenges with a positive attitude and a sense of urgency. But starting strong doesn't mean rushing through everything without thought. It means being intentional about what you're doing and giving each task the focus it deserves. Whether it's a project, a conversation, or a workout, starting strong means giving it your full energy and commitment. Don't settle for good enough. Go all in. Give yourself permission to push past any discomfort and do your best work from the moment you begin. This level of commitment creates a momentum that's hard to stop. And let me tell you, once you feel that momentum building, there's no turning back. When you start strong, you build confidence. You prove to yourself that you can handle whatever comes your way. Every small victory, every successful step forward reinforces the belief that you are capable, that you can achieve your goals, and that's how momentum works. It's not just about the first step, it's about taking action with power and consistency, day after day, until you're unstoppable. Don't waste another day, starting weak or unsure. Decide today that you're going to show up with strength, focus, and energy. Don't let the distractions, the doubts, or the fear of failure hold you back. Starting strong means taking control of the moment, no matter how you're feeling. You don't have to be perfect, you just have to commit to doing your best. Once you've made that decision, you'll find that the rest of the day falls into place. You've built the foundation for success, and you're going to build on it every single day. You don't have to wait for motivation to strike. You don't have to wait for the right moment. Start strong, right now, with everything you've got. The world is waiting for you to show up, to do your best, and to give it your all. And when you do, you'll find that success follows you, step by step. The key is simple. Don't just start strong, and watch your life transform. Number 10. Commit to excellence before you step out. Excellence doesn't come by accident. It's a choice you make before your feet even hit the ground in the morning. It's a decision you make deep within yourself to show up and give your best, not just in the big moments, but in every little action you take throughout the day. And here's the thing. When you commit to excellence before you step out, it changes everything. It transforms how you think, how you act, and how you see yourself. When you wake up and decide that today is going to be a day of excellence, you are already ahead of the game. You're not waiting for things to fall into place. You're not waiting for someone else to push you. You've already set the intention. And with that intention comes a deep sense of responsibility to honor it. You are no longer just going through the motions. You are actively choosing to show up as the best version of yourself. This commitment is powerful because it's coming from a place of clarity, a place of understanding that you are in control of how you approach your day. Excellence doesn't mean perfection. It's not about being flawless or without mistakes. It's about doing your best every single time. It's about showing up with the mindset that whatever you do, you will do it to the best of your ability. When you commit to excellence, you don't accept mediocrity. You don't settle for just getting by. You aim higher. You push yourself harder. And you strive to make everything you do a reflection of the best you have to offer. Now, this isn't always easy. The world doesn't always encourage excellence. There are distractions, setbacks, and temptations that will pull you off course. But here's where the power of your commitment comes in. When you decide to commit to excellence, those distractions lose their grip on you. The urge to do just enough, to skip the hard work or take shortcuts, fades away. Instead, you embrace the challenge, you face it head on, and you rise to it. Because excellence isn't just about achieving something, it's about who you become in the process. Every day when you wake up and choose excellence, you are also choosing to shape your future. You're not just living for today, you're building the person you want to be tomorrow. Think about it. Every little decision, every action, every moment is a building block for your future. The habits you form today will define your tomorrow. When you commit to excellence, you're creating a foundation of habits that will carry you through any challenge and push you toward your goals. These habits are like a compass, guiding you towards success, one step at a time. Commitment to excellence is also about discipline. It's about doing the things that others won't do, even when it feels uncomfortable or challenging. It's about choosing consistency over convenience. When you commit to excellence, you embrace the grind. You embrace the discomfort of growth, and you do it because you know that the rewards of excellence are far greater than the comfort of staying in your comfort zone. You know that every time you push yourself beyond your limits, you are growing, learning, and becoming a better version of yourself. That's what excellence does. It pushes you to keep evolving, to keep improving, and to keep reaching higher. When you commit to excellence before you even step out of bed, you are setting the standard for your day. And that standard doesn't just apply to your work. It applies to every part of your life. You apply excellence to how you treat others, to the effort you put into your relationships, to how you show up for your health, and even to how you take care of yourself. Excellence isn't just something you do when someone is watching. It's something you do in every moment, regardless of who's looking. It becomes a part of your identity, a part of who you are at your core. As you move through the day, you'll notice something incredible happening. The people around you begin to rise with you. When you commit to excellence, you inspire others to do the same. Your energy, your mindset, your commitment to doing your best rubs off on those around you. You become a beacon of possibility, showing others that they too can rise above the ordinary and reach for the extraordinary. And this is how you create a ripple effect of excellence. You inspire your family, your friends, your coworkers, and everyone you come into contact with to elevate their own standards. There's a power in starting your day with a commitment to excellence, because it sends a message to the world. You're not here to play small. You're not here to settle. You're here to make an impact, to leave a legacy, and to create a life that reflects your highest potential. When you choose excellence, you are setting yourself up for success, not just in the big moments, but in every small action that adds up over time. You're building momentum that will carry you through even the toughest times. But this commitment requires consistency. It's easy to commit to excellence when everything is going well, but real excellence shows up when things get tough. When you hit a setback, when you face rejection, when things don't go according to plan, that's when excellence becomes truly powerful. It's in these moments that you have the opportunity to show your true character. You don't let failure stop you. You don't let disappointment derail you. You rise, you adapt, and you keep moving forward with the same commitment to excellence that you started with. When you commit to excellence before you step out, you are setting the tone for the entire day. You are choosing to show up with power, clarity, and purpose. You're deciding that no matter what comes your way, you will meet it with your best effort. This commitment doesn't just affect your day, it affects your life. It shapes who you are and how you approach everything you do. And when you make excellence a non-negotiable part of your routine, you will find that success follows you wherever you go. Because excellence, my friend, is contagious. And when you commit to it, you create a life that others can't help but admire and aspire to.